Over 100,000 years or so, when the sun doth shine and the moon doth go. Fun fact, I was singing that to my cat when I was rendering some, I think I was editing videos actually, and she was just freaking the fuck out, so I was like, alright, sit in my lap, cat, and the cat was still going meow, 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 wow, meow, meow, and so I just started singing her tribute, and it didn't do anything to it, she just sort of still sitting there complaining like a little arsehole, but it's a good story. So, welcome. This video is spawned out of the fact that I started writing down my dreams. Let me tell you the story of that. I fucking love storytelling in VR. This is so lovely. I love this little campfire. Anyway, the story of why I started writing down my dreams. Let's name a friend. Their name is Jebediah Bush. Let's forget the Bush. Jebediah, my friend of mine. It was a she, actually. Kept telling me about all the sex dreams she kept having. Oh, just furious amounts. She's like, oh, and today I betted this one, and yesterday it was Obama, and I was like, fucking hell. I went, my dreams are boring as shit. And so I started writing my dreams down, and I realized pretty quickly when I went back and read what I'd written down, because you know, the moment you wake up, you're right, and then you, or in my case, type, and then you fall back asleep. My dreams were both boring and batshit crazy. So, I'm just going to recite some of them. Let's start with the mild ones, right? So I've only got a few written down at the moment. Let's just start with the mild ones. I have to sort of look up to activate the thing that's showing me the writing. It's huge, right? So, this is my example of a boring dream, right? So, my brother asked me for some money, okay? So I looked at my wallet and went, oh, I have some money, but I need to put this money in my bank. And so I said, I'm sorry, brother, I don't have any money. And then I woke up. So you're like, okay, right, from there, you know. My dreams are dog shit. This lady, you know, this friend of mine, Jebediah, she's bedding and wedding every night. And I'm sitting there going, I have financial responsibilities. No, my brother, I have no money to lend you. So that was quite annoying. But then we continue on, right? So we move up, right? We move up to the second stage. I have to sort of lean back to look at these. So let's just, lean back in my chair. So the next time I woke up, right, this is in the dream. I woke up in the dream. And someone I don't know was living with me, and they bought me a tiny gun. You know that tiny gun from Battlefield 1? You know, that, like, tiny little pew pew pew, that pistol? Yeah, they bought me, like, one of those, right? So they tiny gun, for some reason. The first person that visited my house had a gun also, but was, like, a really friendly biker dude. He was one of those, like, guys in the stories that were way too friendly. Like, you know he's about to betray you. He's like, hello, friend. I see you've got some goods there. Be a shame if something you know, that sort of cunt. So, yeah, it was one of those guys rocks up, and he looked like Trip from The Walking Dead Season 3, that game. Great game, that. I just talked my way out of it, even though he's clearly armed and, like, definitely trying to rob us, right? He was, like, trying to do the, why don't you just let me inside, you know? Even though he had a gun, I don't know why he had a gun. But anyway, so it was all good, and then my house got bigger, just sort of expanded somehow, right? And a ton more people started showing up, just in groups, person after person groups of people, right? And they just kept trying to rob us, right? Repeatedly pointing and shouting the gun, right? I didn't actually shoot, I was just like, It worked, and the only, I think we had one gunfight, and it was basically just like me popping a shot, and like taking cover. It's like very Onward-esque, because the gun was sort of like that Onward shake, and then popping back and then running away. And then, like, a group of them off, I turn to Dad, my dear old Dad, and I just go, wow, Christmas, eh? I have no idea. Alright, okay, so this is my thought process when I'd woken up, right? This is what I thought. This is what I wrote that I thought when I was having the dream. I thought they were robbing us because it was Christmas and they thought that we weren't home, so we're just going around in packs and robbing houses. Which makes perfect sense. Anyway, so I unloaded and loaded the gun. I was just like, just loading this gun, right? Non-stop. And, what was it? It was, at some point, yeah, it just went away, right? It disappeared. And then I had a really shitty replacement. I think someone gave it to me, or maybe I just got it, right? I got this replacement. And I was like, it was like really one of those old guns, like the palm guns, the little things, the ones they always show off, and it's like, oh, you won't believe this gun's a gun. It's like a palm gun, right? So basically, this kid tries to rob me, and the kid that tries to rob us before, he shows back up, right? And I'm like, oh god, I'll get him with this new weird gun. And I fired him, but my gun's a water pistol. And then the kid draws a gun, I'm like, oh no, but it's a better water pistol, so he beats me. And then I just punch him, and then I woke up. So that's Dream 2, right? This is just a weird series of good circumstances, okay? The next dream starts off with a little anecdote that I wrote down before I went to bed. I realized how effective a glass is as a throwing weapon. Things got some serious weight, easy grip, and a deadly splintering. Apply directly to forehead. Thank you, Tom. I'm not sure why I added that, but alright. So now, once we'd slept, we woke back up, and here's the dream. Okay, so this one is where I wrote this down when I'd woken up, and then I went back and read it. I'm like, I don't recall a single part of this. But, so the dream involved me working a lot. So I worked at a fish and chippery until recently. Fish and chippy, as you may know. And I was just unable to stop my phone from making noise. I don't know if it was like ringing, it's just like, you know, making noise. It's like, ah! It's that horrible feeling when you're at a cinema and you're like, ah, my phone is completely silenced and it's ringing. Or something, right? You know, there's that sort of thing. And I did this really complicated loop, and finally it shuts off, okay? So finally she's gone, no more noise. And I left the shop super late. So normally I leave like pretty early in the shop because I was like, alright, whatever, I just want to go home, I'm tired, give me my money, I'm gone, right? Because this shop had no bloody, it was a cash in hand sort of job, you know. But for some reason I got out super late. But the whole time, I don't even remotely recall this, the whole time one of the fish we were selling, one of the flake, was an artifact. So people kept lying about the fact they were Chinese to try and buy it for cheaper. That fucking sentence, one of the fish we were selling was an artifact. So they kept lying, this one guy I recall, kept lying about the fact he was Chinese to try and buy it cheaper. I have no idea what my brain was coming up with there. I recall that man, I don't recall what the artifact looked like. I can't see my fingers as I'm counting, but anyway. I don't recall what the artifact looked like, I don't recall anything. Apart from the fact that I couldn't let this man have the artifact for cheaper because he wasn't actually Chinese. To give some amount of maybe my brain is just a bit weird, my boss was Chinese, so maybe? I really don't know where I went from there. Anyway, once I left, no one was sure where to eat, right? So this is the part I had to sort of remember later. This sentence makes no sense to begin with. So, no one was sure where to eat, as in when I was walking around, I was listening to other people. And someone else said, I think Kim Kardashian has owned 2 restaurants that have already closed. That's how little is open. That is a sentence that I recall from my dream. That was what I wrote down. And I still recall writing down going, what the fuck, brain? Why of all things, Kim Kardashian owning 2 restaurants in a fucking suburb in Australia is the sign that things are closed and nothing's open. Also, my boss paid me partially in a lemon. Later on, my watch popped up, right? I have a S2 watch, you know, the Samsung that links to your phone, with the Facebook stuff, and somehow 2 of my mates who weren't actually working at the shop, they quit ages back, were working at the shop again, and they got paid in food because the shop ran out of money, right? And when I walked back in, my boss tried to give me $2 back, sorry, she tried to make me give her $2 back because of the lemon. She's like, the lemon is too much money, give me $2 back. Also, the register was empty. I don't know why I recall this. Anyway, then I headed back out into the dark night, and for some reason, right, I think this is sort of the part where it clicks why everything was closed. It's a super important night. You know that sort of feeling in the air? When it's New Year's or when it's Christmas Eve or whatever. It's just one of those really important nights where it's like, you know, this is happening, you know, it's once a year, it's once a lifetime, that sort of thing. It's one of those times. It felt like one of those nights where everything was just sort of different, you know, the more shops were closed, that sort of thing. And I was like, wow, what is really important tonight? And then I woke up. So, that dream, oh boy, that dream made no fucking sense. But oh boy, that is the dream. That is the one that I had so much trouble to remember. Like, did I actually just make that shit up when I woke up? Did I like wake up and go like, wow, I had a boring dream? I better make shit up, because the thing is, I don't even get, like, I like the part where it's like, also, it's just so fucking fragmented the way I've written this, because I'm sort of translating this in speech. It's horribly fragmented. It just goes, also my boss paid me partially in a lemon. There's just a sentence. And there's no context to how she paid me in a lemon. Did she give me the lemon? Did she just fucking, like, squeeze? I seem to recall. Now, this is probably just my mind, like, trying to make shit up to fit the narrative, because you know we have that thing where dreams will, like, delete themselves in your head, because that clearly didn't fucking happen, right? I think this is my brain trying to make up the narrative where I remember, like, the lemon being cut in half and, like, dripping lemon juice, and I don't know, maybe that was squeezed into my hand or something. But partially in a lemon is my favourite part. There was some money, but it was partially a lemon. Anyway. Next dream. So, sticky money dreams. That sounds weird. So, it's like Yellow Pages sticky. For some reason, I kept having dreams where I had just so much money. I need to pay like a pizza guy or something. And I just have a fuck ton of loose notes. Now we have $5 notes here in Oz. You know, they're sort of... My hand's gone. These little pink sort of... I guess you call them pink, yeah. Notes, and you know that's the smallest note we have, And I think for the time, because I was getting paid in cash, I had so many notes in my wallet. My wallet was just full of notes all the time. I kept having these dreams where I was just had so many $5 notes and like a couple $10 notes, and I kept having to like really awkwardly be like, "Hey, pizza guy, can you get one of my hundreds of notes out? I can't, you know, it's really hard to do with one, like with two hands. Can you help me?" It was always just so awkward to be like, "Hey, look at all this money I have in loose my hand, loose notage. Please help me." It was just I don't know why I had like maybe four dreams like that. It was just weird. And the last one finishes up like, this one was just strange, right? So this one at least I distinctly recall having. So I was talking with my mates, and he's one of these mates. So this specific mate is a theatre lad. Fuck, my mouth is failing me. A theatre lad. So he enjoys, you know, theatre, bloody acting, all that sort of stuff. You know, very good D&D player. Love the lad. We're in the science foyer of our school, right? So this little sort of indoors area, and there's a window you look out. So you look out this window, and there's sort of like an area out there. And of course, it was a dreamscape thing. So the window wasn't in the right place. There was meant to be like an office in the front of it as well. That was gone. And basically just looked out into this like open little area, open concreted area in our school that we go to, right? So thinking of this thing, having a chat with him. And we were going to go see a theatre version of Star Wars. Not specific Star Wars. I assume it was the original trilogy. Wow, it sounds really weird that you can say that and not about Star Trek. Anyway, so I assume we meant to be for that because of the characters that appeared in my dream. But I look outside and it was already starting in the school for some reason, right? And it was just awesome. I say awesome, I mean awful. They were like dancing or something like, huh. And one of the Imperial officers was horrifically overweight. He was like the guy that got into theatre because he loved Star Wars. Right? This is like, I like how my brain creates this character as well. This is the guy that got into theatre because it was Star Wars, and he's like, well, I know a lot about the Imperial officers. I really want to play one. I know how they could act. Tarkin is my hero. I've realised I need to actually have these in my hands to make the motions. Oh yes, I'd love to be an Imperial officer. Oh, even if it means I have to dance. Anyway, so enough of mocking people. This guy was horrifically overweight, right? He was doing the half-hearted dance, like the sweating and dancing horribly. Like he even does the he's like doing the and he even did like the pause to like tug up his pants because they were sliding down. He was wearing like a grey bodysuit with the what do you call it? The Imperial officers like ranking insignias. Insignia? It's insignia, yeah. It's like the red bars or like is it red and yellow bars, I think. Anyway, so he's like doing this really slow, shitty dance. And like this just looks like a junior school play. It's like, oh god, right? And so you know, I just spot this guy, this horrifically overweight guy trying to be an Imperial officer. Then there's Darth Vader who walks out. He starts dancing. He's the only good costume there, and it looks like he was just bought from a costume shop. Luke was shirtless. I don't know why she was shirtless, but Luke was shirtless, right? So this horrendous dancing school play. It's trying to be official as well, and Leia was there. She looked actually sort of like Leia. It was weird. Anyway, for some reason, two of my friends were acting in it. And now these two friends are newly wedded. They're not wedded, but newly making out faces, that sort of thing, right? For some reason, the lad, we'll call him... We'll call him Noah, because I think we're going for biblical names. And we'll call the other one Mary, because fuck it. So Noah, for some reason, was tiny. He was like a third of the size of Mary. Now, Mary is bigger than him in real life, but for some reason, he was miniature, right? Small. And they were acting in this. And their costumes were not even remotely appropriate to Star Wars. I'm talking like a yellow frilly dress. In saying that, Noah was wearing the yellow frilly dress, and Mary was in something, I think? I don't really recall that. It's literally written here. Mary was in... Obviously changed her name. Mary was in something, not a dress. I know that much. Thank you, Dream Tom. You had one fucking job. Anyway, so it was like a really hard to tell a sense of scale, but like I'm not sure how small he actually was, but Noah looked like a third of the size of Mary. I love how I'm just mixing up biblical stories. And Noah shagged Mary in the forest. Anyway, so they were dancing around, and they sort of like they did this. My hands, here we go. My hands are dancers. So they were dancing, and then one of them goes like this, and they do the bend in, and Mary's bending over top, and they lean in to kiss. Now. Right, they're leaning to kiss, right? I'm thinking, oh god, here comes the sex dream. Finally, it's what I've been waiting for. I didn't think that, but anyway, what instead happened? Fuck, this is just the weirdest thing. So in Skyrim, when someone fails to like animate, sometimes their bodies will like sort of step here, like ha ha ha. Here's the person they need to like animate with. Instead of animating properly, their bodies will just like stretch to like fit. Because let's say they're meant to like shake hands, but they're too far apart, and the animation starts anyway, and their arms just extend out and like connect and waggle around. That's basically what happens, right? They lean in to kiss, but their faces don't touch, and so their lips just detach and start mashing together at like a good meter's distance. And it was like, what the fuck is going on? This just fucking... I think it just snaps back, and then like they start dancing again. Anyway, is there anything else that happens? And then I woke up. I will... And here I have, in special quotation marks, I will not forget the dance of that fat Imperial officer. He was basically just wearing a grey body glove. He even did stop to pull up his pants, did the maneuver mid-dance. Also, the size proportions were well off. We could see the whole performance from the window, looking into this, like, way too small courtyard that, like, 40 actors were fitting into. And, I mean, honestly, the Imperial officer alone would have taken up that arena. No, he wasn't that bad. He was, like... He wasn't like, Jabba the Hutt. He was like the man who's still got his mobility, but he clearly has to take like a breather every 100 yards to be like, oh god, oh, I need another Twix. So, those are my dream stories. I started writing them down because, fucking hell, I am just jealous that my dreams involve being paid partially in a lemon and watching a fat Imperial officer jiggle instead of, banging Ryan Gosling. Dem abs. Quality content. I'm gonna fall out of my chair. Goodbye! Oh, fuck! I'm attached. Shit. Yeah. Freedom!